How's everyone doing out there? Welcome to another edition of Faded Workshop. Say hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
So today we will be speaking about Siz's stage life. So all types of different entertainment that is put on stage, theater, magic, sideshow, stripping. I mean, be talking about almost everything that is on stage. So, hey, Brainless in the comments, I think he messaged me saying that he's got his finger stuck up his. Something's not working, so he may not join us.
Stuck up something. I mean, how many things do you have something stuck up of? Anyway.
So I don't know what he's asking me. So obviously he's got something stuck somewhere. I remember, Brainless, more lube. Okay.
I think
Here we go.
Himself the wizard's wand.
So when you brought up the subject of like stage stuff, one of my first thoughts was stage presence, and that's something that can be taught, and it's very hard. Like even if you don't do things like what we do, like meaning like sideshow stunts, things like that. Like anytime, even like opera singers, comedians, whatever, there's something to like if you have the balls to get up on stage and kill it, that's a thing. That's showmanship just as much as we do. Well, we're a little bit more badass, but that was my first thought when you. That was on my honest first thought when you brought that up, Slim.
Sweet. Yeah, that's exactly what we're here speaking about is things like that. We're hopefully bringing a new spin and to talking about things and talking points that nobody's talked about, or we give a new aspect to things. So, should we start with a history of Circus, or should we start speaking about something else? What direction do you want to go, Sierra?
Well, I feel like we could start with because we have a really thick history with old American Psycho and Freakshow, and that's something that's really unique to us and we take pride in, and then we could go from there. So yeah, I feel like, and you could take the stage here. That being said,
what was the first experience you had being on stage? What's your kind of history of stage performance?
I honestly like the stage kind of, I don't know, I don't want to speak for you, but it really did save me because I was painfully shy as a kid. I know it's hard to believe. Well, I'm so shy now. I'm not gonna lie. Um, but in high school, I joined the choir, and I I realized I was really good at singing, and then I got into the elite choir in our high school was the jazz choir, and there was only a few of us in there, and it was funny because I got in because I'm like a what's the term a tenor alto. It means like you can sing really deep as a girl, but I can sing high also. So they were like, "Yeah, you're in." And that just gave me like a lot of confidence and like ability in myself. You know, when my parents didn't really, they didn't really want me to be an artist. And then when I got to college, I for the record, I only went to a 2-year college and I graduated early. But during that time, I joined this jazz choir, and my stepmom, who I don't know along with, we don't really see eye to eye, but she's a nice lady. Um, I did like a jazz improv thing, and that's where I kind of like broke off. Um, like I found my voice, I guess. And she came to one of my concerts and she was like, I didn't know you could sing like a black lady. And I was like, wow, you shouldn't say something, even at the time. And after that, I changed my major, got into art, and it really gave me a voice when, as a kid, I really didn't have a voice.
Sweet. So that's nice that well, you kind of found it at a youngish age, or yeah. Singing.
Well, I found a way for people to hear it.
Okay. Yeah.
Same with you. I feel like you have a similar story. So let's hear yours.
So my father had a shop in Seaport Village, and in Seaport Village had a magic shop that an elderly couple ran. And during the day, when my dad couldn't pay for babysitting, he would have to bring us down to work. And he would pretty much just let us run around the village, or the little shopping center is what it was. It was an outdoor shopping center on the bay in San Diego. So what were me and my brother attracted to, besides the carousel and the ocean, obviously? Yeah. So I was exposed to, hey, Mark, I was exposed to carousels at a very young age, which is very carnival circus. They had outdoor vendors, almost like a carnival. So you could get cotton candy, you could get different types of chocolate. You could get the taffy, the pulled taffy. You know what I'm saying? So I pretty much lived almost at a carnival. Then there was a magic shop, right? So what I did was,
Sorry, I'm just laughing because I totally forgot that you and I are both from California, and my mom would take us to like the mystery spot and like Winchester Mansion and all the weird shit. Sorry.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, so cute. But go ahead.
They actually had a little arcade as well. So I spent millions of dollars probably in that little arcade. But anyways, like I was saying, there was a magic shop. So me and my brother would go in there and bug the couple. And he realized that if he taught me how to do these magic tricks, I would run to my father and ask him to buy it for me. So he showed me really simple coin tricks, sleight of hand. My first magic trick is the satanic deck. I have it over here. We had it in the oddities tent, if you remember that, Sierra. So this gentleman.
Oh, yeah. I'm well acquainted with them.
Yeah. So
you've heard of the menstruation for Satanism? Menstruation for Satanism.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I just saw.
That's a tale for a different day.
Yeah, I just saw a post about
we know the same people. Go ahead.
So this gentleman showed me how to do a handful of magic tricks and taught me how to do them. And then I had my father give me money to buy them. At one point in time, he convinced me to buy the 21 magic tricks in a box. So it was the whole, like, all the magic tricks in one thing. So it was the cup and balls. It was simple magic. It came with a wand that you had the string that came out of, and how to cut this cup and cut my balls trick. That whole thing.
The cup and balls and the same with the string.
It's too easy to make you laugh. So, anyways, there's people that are saying hello in Facebook, and we can't see that. So hold on. Yes, hey everybody. So, hey Ryan and hey Mo. Mo says he's gonna be in my neighborhood next month. What? So give me a second. Because I'm supposed to be seeing this over here. Oh, yeah. Okay, I'm not seeing it over here. I haven't linked up Facebook with StreamYard yet 100% correctly, so I will be trying to go back and forth and look at the messages in Facebook. So please keep messaging, especially if you have questions on Facebook and YouTube, and we will get to them. So
yeah, and sorry to interrupt. I'm new to StreamYard, so I'm getting some advice on it. So, like Slim said, if I'm getting messages to it's a work in progress. So, on with the show.
All right. So, because I was taught a handful of. Okay, actually, let me backtrack just a tiny bit and tell you a small story about how I became a daredevil. I learned at a young age that if I did weird stuff for people, they would pay attention to me. And that's where I became entertainment whore, I guess is the best way to put it. When I was young, I found out that if I swung really, really high on the swing and jumped and landed, hey, Dave, that people were like, wow, that's cool. At the Christian school I went to at the time, there was a gazebo over the lunch picnic area.
I forgot you went to Christian school also.
Yeah, and that's why we're so weird. Anyways, that was so what I did is I would swing from one arm to the next arm like a monkey through the gazebo, and everybody thought that was just the bee's knees. They were just like, oh my god, that's so great. Then another kid tried it, and he broke both his arms trying it because he couldn't get the concept of how you grab and let go or something. So we're all in trouble. A Tusk is coming in, so everybody strap in. Here's Tusk.
Strap in.
Evening all.
Oh,
hello.
I forgot you. Sorry to interrupt. And hi, Tusk.
Hey, Sarah.
I forgot that you said that. It just reinforces how much we're similar, even though we're different. Like, I had the same experience when I was a kid. That's why I started eating bugs and weird shit, because I was like really little and really shy and was wearing my brother's hand-me-downs. So if I would like do weird shit, like eat bugs, eat worms, which I still do, and now I get paid for it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like it all works out.
Yeah.
When the going gets weird, the weird go pro.
Yes, exactly.
So,
when I was in 6th grade camp, I don't know if all schools did this.
Was it church camp?
No, it was actually a regular public school. But in 6th grade, for some reason, in public school, they had you go for a week into the mountains and you camped for some reason. I don't know why. But
I've only been to church camp, and that's even weirder.
No, well, Boy Scout camp was weird for me, and we'll talk about that on another stream.
I like we need to do an episode like weird childhood Christian shit that we went through.
Yeah, exactly. We would fill a couple hours. So, anyways, the camp counselor was talking about if you ever get lost in the wilderness, you can find acorns, and if they have a hole in it, you can break them open, and there's a little worm in there. There's a larva, and so they were saying, if you get lost in these mountains, you can actually live for a couple of days just on these larvae because they got a lot of protein. So,
well, isn't larvae the plural?
The pupil? No, it's the pupil of a moth or a butterfly, or it's the baby of a worm or a caterpillar or something.
Yeah, but is there a difference between larva and larvae?
I don't know.
I'm just fucking with you.
I think larvae is larvae not the plural.
I think
yeah,
so.
That's what I thought.
Okay, I think so.
I was kind of talking with him, but I kind of thought like larvae was like the term for a collective, like a batch
of them. Okay, and it's definitely
but
not
whatever.
Yeah,
it's not important.
So the counselor busts open one of the acorns and goes, "Okay, who wants to try this?" And everybody looks at me and they just point at me, and I'm like, "Well." Because they know I'm the weirdo,
Yeah.
So I'm just like, okay. And I ate it, and it wasn't, it doesn't taste like anything. It tastes like wood. It tastes like wood because that's what it's eating, right? Even though it's an acorn, but wood. So the rest of the week, I had people handing me money to eat more of them. So I just walked around opening these things up and finding them, and then people would come and go, "Eat another one. Here's $10," because they had their snack fund or whatever. Yeah. So or they give me like treats, So
you're getting paid, and you're like, "Fuck, I was going to do that."
Yeah, exactly. So that was kind of the beginning of me realizing, wait, rubes are gonna give me money to do nothing. Like I was already stupid enough to do this, and you're gonna give me money to do? Oh, okay. So after I learned all the magic tricks, my mom convinced the school I was going, the elementary school I was going to let me get on stage and to do a whole magic show. And it wasn't during the whatever competition, you know what I'm saying? The talent.
And I met his mom. His mom's a very nice lady, for the record.
So I did an hour-long magic show at school in front of the whole school. After that, some of the kids told their parents, and they started booking me for corporate gigs. So I started dressing as Easter Bunny, as other, like a leprechaun, Santa's elf, all these things that a little, a child or a teenager could do. Hey, Surf, thanks for coming out. So after that, as a teen, I got into bands and then started playing in bands, and we started doing gigs out. So that was my introduction to entertainment, I guess is the way to put it. So since Tusk, we're getting feedback from somebody.
I'll mute, see if it's me.
Sierra, we're getting feedback from you, Sarah. If you could come out and come back in, maybe, or I don't know. Here, unmute yourself, Tusk.
So it's not me.
Nope.
Okay. I know the connection on this headphone extension can be a bit wobbly sometimes, but I've spent all day fighting with a guitar, trying to make it work. I thought, oh, not my fucking headphones as well.
Yeah, you were not a happy bunny.
I was not a happy bunny.
Can you give us a sound test, Sierra?
Oh.
Hold on. Sorry.
Next week we'll have that figured out a little bit better, because we'll get her on a plugged-in computer thingy-mabobber with proper stuff. So we're working on getting all that fingered out. And speaking, yes,
Can you guys?
you're cutting in and out. If you turn it off and turn it back on, or go out.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yay! Sorry. And like, yeah, disclaimer, you guys. Like, we've been trying to find a roommate. My boyfriend's mom has health problems, so we've been having. And I'm so used to, like, Slim, you have a DJ background, and I have zero tech background, so I've been like struggling. Like not only this, but trying to get my drag career off before. So I really appreciate you guys bearing with me.
Yeah, definitely. And
I
we'll get it
promise
all.
I'm not retarded.
No, we'll get it all fingered. We'll get it all fingered out soon. So speaking of
We'll get it all figured out eventually.
yes. Speaking of the beginning of performance career, Tusk, do you want to share with us a little bit about your history in performing, or your experience in stage stuff?
Sure. Well, unlike
You are a performer?
America, American schools, we don't have like the big school talent show sort of thing. You know, that's not one of. We do a sort of thing like a play or whatever, a production at the end of the year.
Well, me and Slim have never done anything like that.
Yeah, but we don't have like the Glee Club and all the, you know, that sort of thing. That's not part of our tradition. But
We've never done that either.
I remember when I was younger, and like we call it primary school, you call it junior school, I suppose, or whatever.
Yeah.
We had a couple of people there who were really into the theatre. You know, a guy called Mark and like that, and that was their thing. You know, they really wanted to entertain. One of the guys from my school ended up in a movie in Hollywood. You know, it was kind of a big deal. You know, because this is like a really small kind of working class village. You know, and he ends up in a film with like Hollywood stars. But I remember watching the production and going, this isn't for me. You know, that kind of look at the audience and smile and engage them and bring them in.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I thought, but I don't care about the people on stage. You know, and what I remember, I don't know if you know a band called the Sensational Alex Harvey Band. They were a Scottish rock group, very, very much kind of Brechtian in their performance. You know, they weren't asking you to engage with them. They were playing parts, which was like what you're seeing on stage is not to elicit an emotional response from you. I don't want you to invest yourself in me. This is merely the playing out of past events. I mean, it's completely different from what you're doing because you're very much first person and you have to engage. But I remember speaking to the singer who was a friend of my dad's, and I asked him about it. I was only very young, maybe 10, 11 years old at the time, but he was really interesting, and he sort of steered me towards the theatre of cruelty, the theatre of the absurd, like Anton and Artaud, which is completely opposite, which was about confronting the audience and confounding their expectations. When you go to a play and, you know, unless you're watching some drab Eastern European thing where all the people on stage are very sincere, very severe, you know, but you're not engaged with them. His ideas are more of attack the audience and, you know, can make them uncomfortable, you know.
Yeah.
And so, as I say, I spent some time in the forces and everything, so that kind of put my career on hold. And when I came out, I fell in with a group of friends, you know, kind of punks, bikers, skinheads, that sort of thing, you know, the weirdos. And we put a few bands together, but they just wanted to get up and entertain. I didn't want to do that. I wasn't about getting people jumping around and, you know, high-fiving the guitar player, you know. Fuck that.
Yeah.
You know, people wanting your autograph and shit like that, you know, it's awful, you know.
Yeah.
So I started a few bands. Were more about, they were anti-music, you know. It wasn't about come and watch us play 3-minute pop songs, have a bounce around, have a few beers. If you come to my gig, it's going to be uncomfortable, it's going to be painful, you know. I didn't pick a guitar up to make friends, you know. Eventually I found the right group of people, and we played quite a few gigs. We got a bit of a name for being very confrontational. You know, what one guy, P6, who was an occasional guest singer, used to record his parts on a dictaphone previous to the gig.
Yes.
Right? And what he would do, he would tape the dictaphone to the microphone, press play, then run into the audience and just start. He was a big guy, you know.
Fuck
Start
yeah.
knocking the audience over, jumping on the table, slapping the drink out of your hand. You know, like it's like fuck your complacency. You know, don't just stand there and expect me to entertain you. I'm not a fucking monkey.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
We got banned from a few places, you know, and people stopped, you know. But that's kind of. And we played out the last couple of gigs we played. There was what had got around about P6, and people came looking to fight him. You know, and we thought, right, this isn't where we want to go. You know, this isn't. You know, we're about confrontation and about, you know, being in your face and being, throbbing metal, that early industrial, just pounding rhythms, noise, bang, bang, bang. You know, for half an hour of a drone. You know, so that's where we ended, because nobody wanted to come and see us eventually. But other bands would make excuses not to have us on the bill. You know? Venues would complain we were too loud. Taxi drivers would complain that they couldn't hear their radios outside the venue. Terror through volume, that was our with this ridiculously loud PA system where we would just terrorize people. But some people got it, you know, some people got what we were doing. But most people hated us, and that's fine. It's okay.
Well, you're with people that have got you all.
Yeah.
Well, so can we move on? Since I'm on a limited time thing, because I
sorry, I was waffling on there.
No worries.
Technical. Can we move on to the little bit of history I wanted to talk about?
Yeah. I just want to mention right quick, that's Tusk. That's why I started or began breaking beer bottles over my head and eating the glass and slashing my chest open live on stage during shows, is because I wanted to give the shock factor. I wanted to make it crazy. I mean, like, I'm not just here to play pop songs for you. No, we're here to fuck with your mind, or we're here to mess with you. So
you wanted somebody to go away from your gig and go, fucking hell, and not go, well, that was really
that's
great.
Why he and I get along. Like,
I'm
not exactly like a shock show artist. I do like that shock also, but I'm glad that we're on the same page. Like, wanting it to be something like poignant. Like, yes, we're trying to shock people. Yes, we get off on shocking people, but we also get off on the art of it. And yes, that's a little bit hard to explain, but that's why we've been friends for, how long have we been friends? It's like 2013.
I believe so. Yeah.
Something like that.
It's been a while.
So, oh wait, I know. It's been a while. So
Yeah.
so my little history. So this is Latoya Gibbons. She's known as I'm sure she's not the first, but one of the first like tattooed like sideshow girls. And
I believe that
I was telling Slim or
I believe she's
go
claimed
ahead.
to be, but she may not be, but she is definitely noticed as one of the first tattooed ladies.
Yeah, one of the first. But
Yeah.
I was reading her story and um she's this was in the 30s, like the carnival. You've all seen Carnival. I know you have. Um, like basically, her and her husband were hard up for money, and this was her husband's idea, but then she really liked getting tattooed. Her husband's idea was like, get tattooed, and you make money, and you'll be a sideshow person. But then she eventually was like, fuck you. She left him, and she was like, I just kind of like being a tattooed girl. So that's all I have to say about her. But I think that's really cool.
Yeah, I suppose back then the only people that had tattoos were prisoners and sailors. So to see a woman, especially with tattoos, especially like a full suit like that, would be quite shocking.
Shocking as fuck. Yeah,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure. Yeah. Because
Yeah,
So
well,
pretty
it's
with
kind of the
them too.
same because this is in the days of like, I forget the girl's name. The natives here they had tattooed her, and I think there's
Malaysian.
another story. I'll probably be wrong, so I'm not going to name names. But some white girl was captured by Maori and they both got tattooed, but they lived to be like, I don't know, later in life. This is Betty brought it off, or I
Mm,
might
mm,
pronounce it
mm.
wrong. She's kind of like what you're saying, like she like the original girl, if she's the original girl.
Yeah.
Again, this is the 30s, and again, her husband was like, "Get tattooed, like we need money, and you can be a sideshow," and like sold her off.
Was her
And it
husband the
ended up
tattoo
being a sad
artist?
story.
Was her
Huh?
husband the tattoo? Was her husband the tattoo artist?
No, it was another
Okay.
girl.
Okay.
But anyways, so that's what leads me into these next these next slides. Um, so I studied art a lot, and my family is French. I don't know if you guys know this. It's Basque French, so don't ask me to speak French because it'll be fun. This is. Do you guys know the statue? This is a ballet girl from El Girl Degas,
Yeah.
and it inspired. So this is from I'm looking up 1843. Because he would observe the old ballet girls and actually inspire the art of Renoir, and both have kind of similar like themes with these ballet girls. And this is something I want to touch on, like backstage life, since we're talking about like show life and whatever. Like, um, they were kind of younger girls, and they would train super hard and um sometimes like get molested, but both these artists wanted to represent the regality and like how hard they worked and whatever, and that kind of since we're talking about like showman life, that kind of resonated with me because you and I both work really hard for what we do in different ways, and these girls did. And it's kind of a lesser known fact that the girl that the statue is based on, her mother was destitute, her sister was a prostitute, and she went into dancing out of survival. And I can't speak for Slim, but for myself, I was raised kind of strange too, like strange religious, and art and performance is the only thing that helped me survive. And I thought it was really cool that like these artists wanted to like make these girls their muses because they could see their strength in their art and their performance art. Like it doesn't have to be freak shit, you know. Yeah. Like this is a Renoir. I forget the name of it. I'll look it up. But that's a Renoir, yeah. But anyways, um just knowing like someone's documenting the art that me and Slim do and what we're trying to do, and we're trying to communicate and like do something good with our art, even though we're both people that statistically couldn't stand a chance. We're still making it, and we're still breaking records. We're still doing our shit. You're still listening to us, and I thought that was really cool. I love you.
So speaking of entertainment, so here is a banner that somebody made that about the human blockhead. So this is how pounding a nail in your face works. If anybody wanted to know the logistics, and it's actually real, it's not fake. We actually pound stuff into our skull. So.
Oh my gosh, I saw. Oh, it was on some other like sideshow motherboard. They showed something similar to that, but it was like, I guess the joke was like, oh, blockheads know how to do this. Because everyone's like, it's going all the way up my nose. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's look at some history of the circus. Then we'll talk about history of sideshow, and then get into the history of carnivals in America. Not carnival, but carnivals in America, because it was a transition from one kind of to the other. The carnival developed out of the circus and out of traveling entertainment troops. So let's go ahead and watch something.
Oh, carnival.
America was an agrarian society. And it was a hard life that you had. You woke up early and you worked through the day. And then all of a sudden, if you were so lucky, for one magical day, you were transported from your workaday world into the spangles, into the spectacle that crisscrossed the country, the circus.
Yeah.
You saw extraordinary animals that you sometimes had never seen, whether you were a child or an adult. seeing a giraffe was totally unheard of, and seeing
back in the day, really quick, nobody had ever seen a giraffe. Nobody had ever seen a lion. Nobody had ever seen exotic animals. So this was like a major part of showing people stuff that they'd never seen, because they were mythical creatures technically in books that you'd never see. So to see them in real life was kind of like seeing a dragon or seeing a griffin or just seeing a unicorn, kind of.
Yeah, at that time, people didn't think they existed.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
If you saw Slim, or if you saw me, you'd be like,
or
oh my god, a mythical creature.
People would come back from Africa with drawings of hippopotamus, and people thought they had made them up because such a ridiculous creature couldn't possibly exist. And it wasn't until the circus brought them that, oh, it's real.
Yeah, like the platypus or a couple other things, like they don't seem real. It seems fake as fuck. But then
there was a long history of explorers just inventing things.
Yeah,
so people assumed that they had just made these things up too.
Well, and one of the big parts of the Barnum and Bailey circus was to fabricate fake things and make them seem real. So we're going to talk about that a little bit with the sideshow history about faking things and like saying people are aboriginals when they're just a guy from downtown Atlanta, Well,
remind me to tell you about the time I got
started. Well, I have a story about that. There's a gentleman. There's a gentleman that they found in downtown Atlanta.
A guy from Atlanta.
and because he had bushy hair, they made him an aboriginal. I mean, he got a lot of money for being a nobody. I mean, he wasn't special. They just were like, oh, you have bushy hair. Okay, let's put a loincloth on you. And I mean, it's very of course, but again, they were just fabricating stuff just because, using things to advantages. What you do is you put the tall man next to the midget or the little person, right? Because it accentuates each one. You never put the little person next to another little person, kind of. You want to put them next to large people, because then it accentuates it. So,
I think when you go to the circus or the carnival, you go in the knowledge that you're going to be full.
Yeah, if you don't know that you're getting scammed, it's technically
you're getting ripped off, but as long as you know.
At the time, like Slim was saying, and that's kind of our point, and why we really love it is because it gave people at this time, and at this point in time, it gave people a voice that maybe didn't have other avenues and probably didn't at all. Like, and people like, oh, they were exploited. Like, yes, that happened, but more than often, they had an opportunity to be accepted and shown to the world as who they are.
If you had a disability, it meant you couldn't work, but it was interesting enough that people would pay to see it. Then you had a revenue source,
and you're traveling the country. At least the country, or at least into different places. So
a group of people who accept you as family.
For example, if you were like a dwarf or something, like how else could you make a living? You have to eat.
Yeah.
Exactly like what you were saying. Anyways.
And most of the time they were not taken advantage of. That only happened in very certain cases and or for children. Unfortunately, children were sold into the circus and sideshow and stuff. That is very unfortunate. But again, they later in life, if they lived long enough, made a lot of money from it. They usually got out of the bad contracts they were in with the people who are raising them. But actually, a lot of times they were taken very good care of by their caregivers if they were underage. So, I mean, whatever.
What's the other option for them? Like
sitting in a basement, not seeing anybody. Yeah, or they just get put inside their whole life and nobody ever sees them. Yeah, exactly. So let's go a little bit further and see some more about stuff.
Zebras, the African animals, Asian animals.
It looked like an invasion because there would be elephants, there would be cages of wild animals, there would be teams of horses, there would be a band, and there would be hundreds of people lining the streets.
For generations, the story was familiar. The circus crashed in on everyday life, loud and brash, then vanished like an illusion, leaving some child dreaming of a different life.
I was 4 years old, and my mother said, "Look back there, Roger. That's Clyde Beatty." He came running toward us and began to crack the whip, and in came these animals that I'd never seen. And the excitement was something that got into me. I knew I would do that work someday.
Fuck.
It was my opinion.
Imagine seeing that before understanding those were real animals. You know, I mean, we all were raised to understand those are real animals. So going to the circus was, oh, okay. But like, if you didn't know those were real animals before, is just insane to think.
Even though Serena was in the gospel, I'll say that publicly. She did post one thing that I wish I had saved. It was in defense of Barnum and Bailey getting rid of animals.
Yeah.
And do you remember that? She posted things like they only train them to do like natural postures, like sitting up, like just like my cat does. Like, would you say I'm abusing my cat? Like, she does this naturally.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Stuff like that.
But Dave.
But of course, there is animal abuse going on.
So Dave in the side chat is saying no, they are not. They're men in suits or they're animatronic. And I will. yes, CGI, Dave. CGI.
Yeah, they're CGI.
You are Hans Wormhat, and I claim my $50.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a long time ago. I know that nowadays they're CGI. I'm not dumb.
Well, so Sierra, we are making fun of a person who does not believe animals are real. So Hans Wormhat thinks that every animal is a guy in a costume. So that's what we're making fun of now.
Where are you?
Yeah, so your cat is a man in a cat outfit right now. He's pretty much his claim is. So that's what we're making fun of right now.
And penguins are fake.
Yeah, everything's fake. Everything's fake to that motherfucker. So.
I'm fake. Okay. We're fake. It's all fake.
Everything's CGI to him. Okay, so let's just keep going.
Epiphany.
I first remember the circus when my father would take me to bed and he would hum the elephant entry song from Hagenbeck Wallace in 1932, and it went to the boom, 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 to the boom, 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 and I've never forgotten that. My father inspired me to the circus. He loved it himself, and I took it from him.
The circus had arrived in America in the nation's earliest days, small and insignificant. But as the country grew, the circus would evolve with it into a gargantuan industrialized entertainment.
I just want to say hi, Ox. I see you there.
Oh, hey, Ox.
Appealing to both the humble and the illustrious. It would stitch into one nation a patchwork of disconnected communities and dazzle not just Americans, but the entire world.
And I know there was technically circuses in Europe in the 1600s and during Roman times and stuff. So what they just said technically is not right, but the way that they're set up did travel over there in traveling circuses. So
I'm glad you said that, Slim, because I was just about to say, hang on a minute.
Yeah. So there were circuses. Obviously, in Roman time, if you look it up, circus came from, I believe.
There's been circuses from the times of Jesus, even.
Oh, there was circuses. Yeah, there was travelling circuses around Britain and Europe with the gypsies and the Romanies for hundreds of years before America was even established.
Yeah. It's only carnivals technically that the Americas made.
Yeah.
New thing.
Yeah. The scaled down version, the travelling version.
Yeah. But we'll talk about the difference between carnival and something else a little bit later. So let's keep. I just had to stop. Mention that.
Oh, hi, Jesse.
Cute. Hi.
Who? What? Where? Oh, hi, Jesse.
Oh, hey, Jesse.
Hey, Jesse.
We have a new person watching.
Ox says something really interesting as well.
Okay, yeah, give me a second to do this. I had the privilege of meeting Gunther Gebel-Williams. I think that's how I would say it. I may have said it wrong, and if I did, sorry, I'm drinking, so that's my excuse. When we were hooked up with the Ringling Brothers back in the 80s, great man and very kind to his animals. Yeah, I believe I know who you're speaking about, and he was an animal trainer. And I believe in Barnum and the Ringling Brothers, most of the time, there are certain parts of history that they may not have treated their animals right, but I do believe that they treated their animals mostly right. Go do your own research. I'm on the fence about having animals in a circus. I'd rather abuse people. I'd rather whip people. I'd rather have people.
What? No, I think you're absolutely right. Like, I wish I snagged that from Serena a while ago. Serena Rose. She was in Show Devils and So Sweethearts. She posted this thing, like I was saying, like, a lot of circuses weren't necessarily abusing animals, but they're training. It's just like training a dog. They were just training them to do natural behaviors. They weren't like,
Some of the footage we were watching, they were not doing that. But in the modern times of circuses,
I wish I found that, but.
In the Americas, I can't speak about in other countries, and we're going to watch videos about circuses in other countries and how they evolved a little bit.
Everyone. Slim and I are only talking about our experience in the Americas. I don't know if you've toured overseas. I've only toured overseas for modeling, so I don't know about like circus stuff overseas.
Circuses in Britain stopped using animals a long time ago because of the cruelty issue. Because the only way to get a lion to jump through a burning hoop is by cruelty.
Yeah, I heard about that.
I don't feel comfortable with animals being in the circus personally. I don't feel like that's fun.
So if you want to dress up as a animal and you want me to run you around a ring or make you jump through a ring of fire, we can do that.
Badger, and I could like run your back because he's very dense, but he's very strong. I could totally ride on his back.
Yeah. My PayPal address is www.
So when I need to start OnlyFans. All right, let's do it.
So everybody say hi to Skydiver Tanner because he says he's in the background. So let's make him pay attention to us. So hey, Skydiver.
Yeah, Tanner.
Hey, Tanner.
Love me.
Yeah, no looking.
So Tanner,
lurkers better check their shoot next time they go.
So really quick, I want to mention that Tanner did a video as Biscuit McSweet Tits. That is Cookie. Yeah. So that is Cookie McSweet Tits' sister. Okay. So I'm Cookie McSweet Tits and Tanner is Biscuit McSweet Tits.
What kind of biscuit?
What kind of what?
What kind of biscuit?
You'll have to ask Tanner that. So Tanner, please respond to that. And then I want to say hello to. I want to respond.
Biscuit, please.
As long as it's not a limp biscuit.
Not limp, no, please. I would like it to be fluffy. And never mind. So I want to say hi to For No Raisin. So hey to you.
Oh.
And then so Jesse is saying in many cities in Germany, circuses with animals are illegal. And yeah, I believe most places now that is illegal. So sugar biscuit, Tanner says.
What on earth is a sugar biscuit?
I don't know, but I'll sugar your biscuit, Tanner.
Yeah, that sounds like pillow talk.
So before
Tammy Dodger.
Hey there, sugar biscuit.
Yeah, everyone's attention. So they pay attention to Slim. Can I show you some artwork that my roommate gave me? Some weird elephant man shit. Now that I have everyone's attention, can we please pay attention to Slim?
What?
Continuing a story.
Oh, okay. Oh, I thought we were
I thought you were trying to continue your story.
Oh.
But I did this artwork.
Well, we were and before I go off on a tangent on kink, let's go ahead and keep doing. We're talking about something. Yeah. I believe we were here.
Yeah. God, my makeup looks so good.
Hey, Kevin.
Hi, Kevin.
Hello there.
There we go. Sorry. I forgot. There's so many captions that I can switch between.
Called the circus our season of imaginative play.
Ooh, imaginative play. I'm there.
Oh,
yeah.
Ability in a way to dissolve oneself. Have an out of body.
Circus play is one of my kinks.
I just turned myself on.
The act of performing on a trapeze, on a
I've
rope,
always wanted to do that.
doing a strength act. All of these
that's a really tight
circus
corset.
arts. They push the boundaries of human strength, of the limited nature of our humanness,
Meow.
in ways that allow us to transcend it. For me,
I know.
that is the essence of circus.
Nice pussy.
Yeah.
Pretty cat.
Yes, it's similar.
A swell of humanity flocked to Brooklyn on April 10th, 1871, to see the most elaborate entertainment ever mounted in the United States. A dizzying array of human oddities and acrobats, museum exhibits, and wildlife, jugglers, trapeze artists, and strongmen.
That was fake.
Its
That was
largest
fake.
tent
That was fake.
for Big Pop.
I know.
I was gasped and I was like, no.
What is this little the fancy?
The museum tent boasted a slew of sideshow attractions.
Let me just pretend somebody can carry that many people.
It's all a trick of the eye. That's what a lot of it was back then, is a trick of the eye. But and a lot of it was real. But again, you're saying, you put a small person next to a really large person, and then they're gonna look smaller. So it's just all optical illusion type stuff, like magic is.
So basically, me just walking in the street next to Tusk.
I mean,
no, just tell people you're not that short. You're just further away than you look.
So that's why.
if you saw me and Slim stand next to each other, you'd be surprised. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Oh,
that
a slim
that's
My boobs are
sweat?
so much bigger than his.
Oh,
and then when she wears her shoes too, then she gets a couple more inches on me. So that even when I wear my platforms, though,
We've
I
actually,
think
I saw this in a memory that remember you were trying to like get some bulk here, and I've never minded. I think you're super hot. I stood like a few inches behind him to get the illusion that I was smaller than him. So I was like, I'm so
oh,
fat. And he's like, I'm so skinny. And we were like, I was like, okay, not that what we do is an illusion. Don't get that wrong. 'Cause what we do is freaking real. I'm not kidding. But for photos, we want to look hot. Everyone wants to look hot in photos.
yeah.
So he's like, he went like this, and I was like, I'm gonna stand back here and be like.
So yes, Ox, I am short. I'm 5'7". So
You know what? He has the density of a dying star. I tried to pick him up.
Yeah. I'm dense, but I'm still not big.
He's heavy and dense. I'm fluffy and I'm a girl.
So really quick, some local councils ban the use of circus animals in Australia. There's no national nor state ban against it of wild or domestic animals in circuses, but it's not around anymore. Which, yeah, that's pretty much where we're at. In Asia, there's still a couple circuses that are using animals, but they're kind of doing it in a pseudo-natural way. But anyway, let's get back to talking about the circus because we still have two more subjects I want to tap on if we can tap on it before everybody has to tap out. Did I say tap enough?
So-called
Yeah,
midget,
so we've
known
been
as
on
animal
for
dominance.
a bit over an hour. I really
The
have to
third
pee, to be
pavilion
honest.
housed a zoo,
Can I pee
or
real
what was
quick?
called
your bladder is
Yeah.
very important. Don't strain it.
Yeah, we just do that while you're peeing. I mean, no, sorry, no, never mind. I'm just kidding. Go pee. Go pee. I guess I can just do that, right? Yeah, we'll do that for now.
You hit first though. There you go.
Yeah, no, there. Yeah. I'm gonna probably ask her to like reset or restart whatever. So everybody take a Riley break. No, I'm just kidding. So we'll keep doing this while she's doing that.
Called a menagerie. It displayed 30 cages of animals, including 12 camels, 4 lions, 2 elephants, and a rhinoceros. Some 35 other circuses toured the country that summer. None was as spectacular.
It's this incredible combination of entertainment. It's the circus, it's a menagerie, it's a museum. It was a truly massive show.
This is a village of entertainment. A place that Peter Pan goes, the land of the lost boys. This looks like a place that a bad boy running away from home would love to go to because everywhere you turned, there was a smell or a sight or a sound that was delectable.
Though the attractions were without rival, many came simply hoping to catch a glimpse of the owner. Over the past 3 decades, Phineas Taylor Barnum had become one of the most famous men in America.
Barnum was the most widely visible and widely known American of the 19th century. It's not an American president. It's not a great scientist or someone who actually had achieved, a breakthrough to improve humankind.
Did we go to the next one? Okay. Okay,
Like
we're
many
almost there.
circus impresarios, P.T. Barnum came from humble beginnings. His father, a Connecticut innkeeper and tailor, died when Barnum was 15, leaving the family destitute. Young Phineas tried just about everything to avoid a life of manual labor. He was a shop clerk. He sold lottery tickets. And he hawked Bibles. In the spring of 1835, Barnum bought the rights to exhibit a frail enslaved African-American woman named Joyce Heth.
She's
He plastered New York with posters advertising the old woman as George Washington's 161-year-old nursemaid. Though Heth had little choice in the matter.
I don't know. Oh, because she was asleep. But kind of just getting back to, I was going to say this before I heard that, but again, she would have just sat around doing nothing, and she was put in front of lots of people, and actually, he paid her a lot of money to do this eventually, and made her not a slave, and she ended up owning property and became wealthy. So this actually was a positive for her, from a lie.
She played the part, and the ruse worked. Barnum hoodwinked the press and thousands of others who paid 25 cents to see her. Then he took Heth on tour through New England. In Boston, when his hoax finally stopped attracting paying customers, Barnum came up with another one.
He does something remarkable. He decides to accuse himself of fraud by taking out anonymous notices and advertisements in the paper saying that, in fact, Joyce Heth is not a 161-year-old African-American woman who raised George Washington. In fact, she is an automaton made of India rubber and mechanical springs. She's a robot. This is a trademark Barnum strategy to draw attention to the...
Yeah, so like he's going to explain, Barnum actually did this to himself multiple times, where he said what he was doing was fake, but he said the way he was faking it was wrong, even though he was faking it, but it was. So what he did is he caused controversy. Remember, any press is good press. So if you have a negative thing about you in the newspaper, it's still good. So what he did is that's what he did. He made controversy against himself, and then he'd go up and say, "This newspaper report is wrong," and it's so.
Oh, Sierra, we can't hear you. I'm sorry.
I think that's cool. No matter what the press says about him, I'm into that.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay, so this one's about to end.
Possibility of criminal fraud,
and then we'll
and
look
to
at something
invite
else
viewers to make up their own minds.
Okay, so that was the end of that one. I should have just let it play to the end, but oh, whatever. And then we'll just jump into the next video. I think we've broken it up enough, and if not, everybody should know by now we're not monetized, so we're never gonna probably get that. So getting struck is not a big deal. But if you want to help us out and you're in our YouTube and in the side chat, there is a link to give us a tip through my PayPal. And whatever I get through these times that we do the Faded Workshop, I will share with Sierra. And we're trying to raise a little bit of money for her to buy a microphone. I think that's all that she might need right now. We may need to upgrade her computer soon, so that may be a thing. But if anybody wants to help us out,
I just need the mic and headphones set. Not to be like a sob story, but my mom died a while ago unexpectedly, and that was right before COVID. So not only did I had unexpected costs with that, COVID and Slim and I haven't been able to perform, and I'm so glad that you guys have tuned into this and gave a shit about what we have to say, because him and I have really unique and amazing stories to tell, and we're a good team. So if you even give a shit to tune in, then that would be greatly appreciated. So thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. We haven't been able to perform in probably over a year, and we used to make a lot of money in tips doing live shows, and so this is the closest thing that we have right now to doing this. It has helped me get on a virtual show on the 10th that I will make a video for, and we'll be sharing the link for that. And then on the 28th of next month, I will be doing a virtual show with Arts Caravan, which I used to do live shows with, and we will be getting Sierra in on some of those soon. So hopefully check into our Facebook, and we'll be posting some links in the side chat for you all to get a hold of us. Sierra, if you could message me, can you message
I'll
me?
send in some links too. I didn't know you were gonna do like a shout out, but House of Darling is doing some things, you know,
So look up.
slowly, but it's kind of a gender inclusive drag collective. So I might be doing drag. So there's gonna be drag, burlesque, sideshow,
A mixture of all. I don't know.
yeah.
So if
Just
you
a
could
variety of performances.
Sierra, if while I am showing the next video, if you could figure out a way maybe to get us a link for your YouTube channel, people are asking for it.
Yeah, I was
If
just about
not,
to squeeze that in there.
if not,
Well,
I'm gonna
I'll
have the brainless see if they. Okay, totally. I understand. If we're gonna have the brainless try to do some research and try to figure that out, and if he does, he's gonna be a good boy and he'll be treated nicely. So if you figure that out, brainless, then you'll get your spankings.
Oh, what a good boy. And that would mean a lot to me. Yes, I've been doing a lot of cooking lately. And a lot of like kind of COVID cooking, like cooking with what you have.
So you and Tusk need to
and
talk because
I really trying to like
you and Tusk need to talk because
So
Tusk
basically,
is
we're just
an
trying to
amazing
expand.
chef.
If you guys can support us, or
okay.
you, yeah, if you
Actually, it
guys can
reminds me of I
support
forgot a
us
pot on.
at all,
So-
like we don't
I
want to
was
be
about
those
to say,
people.
honey, there's a pot on in the kitchen.
But
So
it's hard for us to perform like online,
So
and we're not used to having to like ask for support online because we're independent contractors, we're independent performers.
So speaking of that,
just
right
your
quick.
guys' support means so much to us. It really does, and thank you.
So speaking of that, right quick, if you look at the background that I have, soon we will have this for this show, and it will be not just Slim Cyborg. It will say Faded Podcast, and every time a subscriber subscribes, it will show. Anytime somebody tips us, it will show, and it will be an interactive background that we will have for doing this show. So in the future, it will be a lot more interactive. So if you make a comment, it will show up somewhere. Maybe we may do it somewhere. If you interact with us in any way, it will show up on this screen. So I will have that soon, probably next week. So speaking of that devil, yeah, I've been working my ass off behind the scenes, Sierra. So I've got a lot of fun secret, and I just downloaded Face Rig, so I have 3 avatars that I can change my face into and speak as a demon, a mole person, and a granny. So I have 3 different.
Well, that sounds bad. 'Cause I've been working too, but I've been doing other stuff. I've been taking care of my boyfriend's mom. That's
Yeah,
been taking
and
a a lot of my time, and that's the
everybody
reason for the delay. And I
everybody
feel like him and I are on the same page about being real with you guys, so I'm gonna be real. That's why that I've been on a bit of a lag.
Yeah, some of we kind of some of us stage performers went through a bout of depression, and we're trying to get out of that, and we're trying to make a positive from it. So we totally get that. I was thinking of something. So we'll get you links to Ciara's Instagrams and some of the other links for her later. After we're done with this, if you look in the description, we will have her links, and then I'll have those saved, and then from the shows that we have from now on, we'll have her links in there. So thank you everybody for supporting us as of right now. And while we're here, let's show another video. Does everybody agree to that?
Yep.
Or do you want me to just get naked and do a silly dance?
Nope.
No, the video.
No,
you want the video?
Block me again.
I can
You did
totally.
last week. No, you did last week.
Okay. So you want to see
Not
a video?
again.
Okay. We'll go to.
Every time you do that, I get dick blocked.
What do you want?
So like, Tusk's like, no, and I'm like, honey, we planned it. But no, Slim got naked. Sad.
Okay, so we'll share the video I had planned.
I'm basically the same. Go ahead.
No. You say this.
But I put my lighting on warm, so I look tan. But I'm like white as hell.
Oh, honey, you want to make me? I can look tan. You want to see me look tan?
Dab.
Oh, it won't change. Oh, there we go. There's my tan light. See, there's my tan light.
Naked mole out.
But you know what I really should do is this.
Oh, Luna.
There.
I found my cat. Luna.
You found your pussy? Everybody, she found her pussy, and she's gonna put her pussy on screen. And Ed, that's what Ed looks like in real life. That's what Ed looks like in real life.
Yeah.
As an owl.
I'm just a little owl.
I don't want to burst anybody's bubble, but you two are the whitest motherfuckers I've ever seen in my life.
No, you're right. You're right. We are very fucking white. So that's what the problem is.
So when I say Smorskin, so I was dating a boy. She's over it. And we had a little bit of weed. And we were watching that show where Joe Jonas gets that blonde girl pregnant. You know what's that show?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And,
somebody in the side chat will say they know.
Jonah Hill is like, oh, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but it rhymes with Schmishmorshin.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know why we thought that was so hilarious, so now we call every animal a Schmishmorshin. But then, when I started dating Craig, my current partner, he was like, why are you calling the cat Schmishmorshin? Schmishmorskin? It was like, now it's turned into Schmishmorskin, so. Thing. If you have pets, you understand. Shut up. Leave me alone.
Okay,
Yeah.
so can you do a little dance for us?
Me?
Do my dancey dance.
What's up with your eyes?
Red, white.
Do a little dance. Come on, go.
Yeah, can you smell toast? Are you having
I just ate owl.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what?
Oh,
I
shit.
think it's my hair going over my
Okay. Yes, there you go. Yes, awesome.
Yee. You do a better dance than I do.
Once I figure out the audio for my face rig, then I'll be doing my face rig. So speaking of this devil, what we're gonna do is we're going to listen to the sideshow history. This is somebody who went to the Museum of Sideshow, and he's talking about some of the stuff in this museum. It actually goes over. It's in Gibson, Florida. That's where a lot of sideshow artists retired. So a lot of historical sideshow stuff ended up in this place, and so that's why this is important. And he actually goes over an okay amount of stuff. Am I sharing it? I don't think I am, huh? Nope. I'm crazy. What? Huh? I'm crazy? No way.
I put Sarah's Instagrams in the side chat.
Awesome. Thank you. You rock. You rock, Brainless. And that's why we pay you the big we don't pay you
the big D.
photos.
Yeah, that's why I get the big D.
We pay you the big D. That's so
and D does not stand for dollar.
Yeah.
That's why we tolerate.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Even my lazy eye came back.
Oh, hold on. Sierra, you're feeding back.
Yeah.
Start off showing some photos from the Chicago World's Fair of 1893. Some old school.
I think it's fixed.
Here. They have a little welcome plaque. It's dedicated to
I think it's fixed.
Those who spent their lives in the old sawdust trail.
Ooh, sawdust.
Here's a state fair from 1950.
Oh, we hear it again, Sierra. Yeah, we're hearing feedback. So, just to let everybody know, in the sideshow, you know why you put down sawdust when you set up your tent? So when people threw up, it was easy to clean up. So that's why you put the sawdust down, or the hay was another thing.
State Fair, August 30th.
Yeah.
I might have to go for a date.
Still feeding back. You need to reset it.
And these are all
That's the same reason they used to do it in bars, so when people were sick, it was easy to clean it up.
Why would they throw up though?
You ever been to the carny?
No.
When you see when you've never seen somebody pound a nail inside their skull, or you've never seen somebody chainsaw an apple out of their mouth, or lift weights from their nipples, in a conservative society back in the 1800s or early 1900s, people would freak out and they would puke. When Enigma was in the Jim Rose Circus sideshow, you're still feeding back, Sierra. Just restart. They had a competition to see who could make the most amount of people puke during the
Yeah, they did that when they came to Glasgow. I mean, I've met them with the guys a few times. They had a running bet to see the first one to make someone faint won like $100, and it was like if you could make whoever made the most people puke up won $50 at the end of the night and stuff like that.
Yeah, and so we kind of have the same thing a little bit, but Enigma told me a bunch of stories about. We still have feedback, Sierra. When they were doing shows, you know, and then when we did shows, we would also watch how many people ran to the bathroom, because I never made anybody puke in front of us, I don't think, but I watched handfuls of people every night run to the bathroom. So I think they made it at least to the bathroom, but
I feel like I was in the sort of lucky position that I grew up with the Fringe here. So like a lot of it was normalized for me personally because I was there every single day, just like, oh my goodness, look at these amazing humans. Like, just absolutely in awe and like amazed that they were able to push their body to such extremes. And me being a clumsy person that can't even like ride a bike properly was just like, wow, you can juggle chainsaws on a bike with one wheel, you know. So and I feel like I never got that. I just got absolutely so happy that my hands would just flap about, you know. So I never got I never got grossed out by it. I just loved it. You know, I was so in awe.
Yeah, if you got grossed out by people doing weird stuff, you wouldn't last 5 minutes in your own family.
Oh no, not at all.
Not her family, from what I've heard.
Honestly, just the fact that you're so in awe is a really beautiful thing because, yeah, some of this might be bullshit, but most of it's real. And for someone to appreciate it means a lot.
Yeah,
and
so I think
I might have to go because technical difficulties. Next week I'll have my proper setup. Love you guys. Thank you so much. And
Thank
you for your patience.
Yeah, we're just gonna
So,
go a little
signing
bit
out.
longer and then we'll be done. So we'll see you next week for sure. Bye. We love you.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Oh.
Good night.
Bye.
No, I think that's a big deal, a big thing though, when someone actually appreciates what you've done and the effort. It's good. I mean, most people think you go up on stage and you're just some idiot that's hammering nails into your face or whatever.
Yeah,
and it's like, oh, anybody can do that. Yeah, well, you do it then.
Yeah.
Well, there's a couple times, and I was taught this by my predecessors, to where you're like, here, try it. You don't. Enigma, during his set, he hands a little kid a sword and goes, so swallow it. Oh, what? Because what he did is he convinced them to come up on stage to help him, right? And he goes, I said, come up here, swallow the sword. And they go, no, they're never going to swallow it. Obviously, you know what I'm saying? They're a little, but that's what, what we're trying to prove when we do that is, you think you here.
Yeah, I said this to you before, Slim, was like, I blame Jackass.
Yeah, no, totally.
Everybody thinks, hammering a nail into your hand makes you a carny,
Yeah.
But what they don't know that Steve O actually was a carny. He spent years and years practicing that before he took it on stage.
Yeah,
and Jackass.
And the other thing that people don't realize is, what's the head of all of that bullshit? Johnny, what's his name?
Johnny O. Yeah.
He cannot piss out of his genitalia anymore. He has to piss into a club moss, a bag.
A big accident, wasn't it?
Yeah. So you all think it's fun and games. No, these people have actually destroyed their bodies doing this. So you don't want to.
Him and Bam were out trying a new stunt on the dirt bikes, and he came off and he got his genitals trapped between the wheel and the back fender, and it ripped that clean off.
And so really quick, so Mr. Lifto lifted a keg with his ears. So I have the world record for lifting a keg from my ears while standing on broken glass. That is one of my world records. So yes, and Mr. Lifto and I are friends. He congratulated me for taking some of his stuff to the next level. So he's on Facebook. So if you're on the Facebook, you can find him through Mr. Lifto, I think. But so we don't go very much longer because I know it's late for all the people that are not in the Americas. Let's finish a little bit more of this, and then we will talk a little bit more. And then after this, I may do a stream of some kind of game. I'm not really sure what game I'm gonna stream. Maybe a game about pissing. Never mind, that's the wrong stream. I had to because it was right there. It was in my reach, you know.
Are you gonna maybe do the Five Nights at Freddy's?
Say it one more time.
Are you maybe gonna do the Five Nights at Freddy's?
Yes, probably. So, I think last night
No,
I got
Jeff,
to
you're
night
not staying
5.
up to watch it. You need
Yeah,
sleep.
no, you probably none of anybody who's not in the Americas probably shouldn't. But I think I got to night 5 last night, and I need to get to 7, so I'm almost there. And there are content creators who have like 100,000 fucking subscribers that couldn't get to as far as I've gotten. So I'm gonna try to see if I can beat the game tonight, and then if I do, I'll buy 2, and then we're gonna do 2, and then 3 and 4 and 5 and 6, and so we're gonna go through them eventually. If I can't beat one, I'm gonna move to the next one after a couple times. But you're gonna watch me get killed, and Tusk loves watching me die. So
one of my favorite things.
Yeah, exactly. So let's read this.
That's one thing he loves more. That's one thing he loves more. That's seeing me die.
Watch you get killed and have a wee bitch fit about it is fucking hilarious.
It's great. Yeah.
Oh wow.
Dave says his connection to the circus is his daughter, and she can be seen here in a promo at Venmo. So yeah, go there and go give his daughter money. I don't know what that's for, but hey, okay, whatever. No, but I think you spoke about that before, Dave, in streams, that your daughter is a performer in some way, shape, or form. And if you'll put in the comments what she does, because I don't remember, because I'm a little drunk right now.
It's a still artist.
What?
It's a still kind of.
When aren't you?
No, imagine like a trapeze act, except on poles.
That's okay.
Amazing.
Yeah, okay. I believe. Yeah. So speaking of that devil, we're gonna keep watching this.
Personally, I'm not.
So this is the gentleman. His name is Mika or something. I'll share who he is.
By train. The trains would load in all the different trailers and different pieces. Look at that.
Oh.
Look at that old school trash can. It's a real.
That's awesome. That is awesome. I want one of those.
Everything away and
Oh, I mean, maybe. I don't know.
Not
So
sure exactly
spooky.
what that is. Here, but
That's really cool.
love the artwork on it.
So I'm gonna do this.
Father Mac.
We're gonna make it speed it up a little bit.
Who's
Wow.
that?
Old school
What?
marionette or puppet show theater. You guys see the old flyer back there for it, with a banner for it, and they would have
Oh.
just like those two up there, like they're showing on the screen here, pop up. People would gather around just like so.
Yeah, Punch and Judy is like one of the oldest.
I've got a very cool sideshow banner.
Judy, right here. And there's a book,
Yeah.
a comic, and other toys and souvenirs of the famous Punch and Judy puppets. Now, long before Las Vegas had shows started on the Midway, and these were what the girls looked like. As you can see here, they're advertising different girls, such as Gypsy Rose Lee, Broadway sensation. Here's some old photographs of some of the girls who would have performed.
Ow!
Abba.
Yeah.
That's the origin right there.
And there's some costume pieces that they would wear, and that's probably the size of the stage that they would have to work with.
No, the stage would be bigger.
Pretty awesome to see.
A little bit bigger.
Definitely had some influence on some shows that would later go to Las Vegas. When you think of showgirls.
Okay, this is a little long, so what we're going to do is we're going to stop here because I think he talks about other things, and I want to show the carnival history right quick because that's interesting. It's only like a minute long, so it's not very long. and then we can talk about some bullcrap. I wanted to at least show. I wanted to show the. There is a video of Brainless actually being smart, and I caught. We actually caught it on tape.
No way.
What?
It's actually, yeah.
What?
When did that happen?
CGI. Call it.
So
That's
give me a
like
sec.
finding Slim sober.
Yeah, exactly. So I that's why I have to show it. So just give me a second to find this proof that I have.
I think I'm a John Yellow now.
That owl is wicked.
So so this proves that Brainless is actually not brainless. And don't ever believe him that when he says that he is. And then we'll get to the carnival history right quick, which is just 2 minutes long. And then after that, we'll shoot the shit for a second, and then we will get out of here. So
Shoot the shit?
yes.
Neon yellow blob can store memories, even though it lacks a nervous. Now, let's have a new clue as to how the brainless blob manages this feat.
I'm not that
actually
fat
known as a slime mold, which is a type of protist that is in the same family as amoebas. Slime molds can exist as one tiny cell with one nucleus, that being the cell's control center, or as a fusion of multiple cells that come together as one gargantuan cell with many individual nuclei inside. These massive fused cells form a network of internal tubing, with tubes that can contract like blood vessels, pushing fluids and nutrients through the entire blob. Now, in a new study, scientists found that the diameters of these different tubes can actually encode information, such as, for example, where the blob has found food recently. Here's how it works. When the slime mold senses a snack nearby, by chemicals that its food...
Say that again.
I'm having a flashback to Brainless burning his fingers making food when we were playing GTA. And the blob goes in and finds his food. I'm like, oh, that's
Yeah,
what
I was burning my fingers on my meat. I'm that hot.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Sorry, mate. Your new name is now the Blob.
Yeah, the Blob. Yeah.
No.
Yep.
No, Susan.
That's gonna stick.
Amorphous Blob.
That's my brother. That's
food begin to dilate. Scientists suspect that in response to nearby food, the slime mold produces some mystery substance that causes those tube walls to soften and stretch.
It's a mystery substance sometimes.
Meanwhile, tubes
we know what the substance is. It's not a mystery.
far away from the food begin to shrink.
Okay.
And sometimes disappear altogether, becoming reabsorbed by the slime. The slime mold then creeps in the direction of the wide, dilated tubes, migrating until it engulfs its snack. But even after gobbling up every last morsel of food, the slime mold hangs on to where those thick tubes were, creating a kind of imprint of where the food was located before. This imprint dictates how fluid flows through the whole network and influences which direction the slime mold will travel next. For instance, if there's more food near the thick tubes, the blob is already prepped to migrate over in that direction. This process is somewhat reminiscent of how memories form and are reinforced in the human brain. In the brain, we store information by strengthening or weakening connections between individual neurons. Each additional impulse may strengthen an existing strong connection, the senior author of the study told Live Science. A similar but simplified process shapes memory formation inside slime molds, helping them to find the fastest route to food or cut the shortest path through a maze.
There's a program in the UK. It's called Who do you think you are? Where they take celebrities and they go through their family history to discover where they came from. And I
Yeah.
think we've just found Brainless.
Yeah,
That's the entire family history. Your great great
Son of a bitch.
Is it
But hey,
Brainless
you can
love?
find the fastest way to food, and that's what's important.
And
Oh, that's so great. That's so great.
an unknown substance. And you absorb it again.
Yeah, the densest
Elaborate,
substance
explain
known to man.
yourself.
The only problem is they said the thick tube, and I don't know. I don't have proof.
Nah, not that thick. Thickness is relative.
I don't know. Yeah. There you go.
It's his anus. It's not. That's all it is. He's just a mouth and an anus. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay, so now that we've done that, here is the telling of somebody about the starting of the American carnivals. And carnivals, I believe, mainly were prevalent in the Americas and not as much in Europe or Asia. There was different versions of traveling entertainment companies, but the basis of a carnival was having traveling carts of food with people, with vendors, with the sideshow on the side, and then the circus, and then a main part that had rides and then games. So that was what the carnival ended up entailing after what this gentleman tells you. So let's listen, and then we will speak on it, and then we'll maybe talk about more about how Brainless is brainless. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Well, that blob it's at least smarter than a flurf.
Or
if we're going to find
it
out, I want the thick tube.
What?
Never mind.
The history of the carnival business actually began in Chicago in 1893 at the World's Columbian Exposition, or the Chicago World's Fair. You got to remember, Chicago was coming back from the Great Chicago Fire in those days, and they wanted to put on a happy face for the rest of the world to show them they had recovered and were a viable city. So they put on this magnificent World's Fair. It was 800 acres of what was formerly Chicago swampland that they drained and erected this magnificent, they call it the White City. At the Chicago World's Fair, you might have seen debuted for the first time a completely electrically lit street. Up until that time, gas lights dominated the street lights. You could imagine a population going to the World's Fair and seeing a street in the middle of the night lit up like daylight. They were fascinated by it. Another thing that you might have seen, the first Ferris wheel. Stood 241 feet high, weighed 4,000 tons, and the cars
69.
were city buses. There really weren't any rides. Rides hadn't been invented yet. It was mostly shows. Little Egypt, the hoochie coochie dancer. She walks, she talks, she crawls on her belly like a reptile. Little Egypt was a sensation at the Chicago World's Fair. When the fair was over, at the end of the 6 months run, they bulldozed the whole damn thing down. It all went back to being a swamp.
But all of the companies that came there to run stuff had invested their money in whatever they brought there. So they had to take that and do something with it. So either they took it to a museum or they did something else with it. Most of them just went on tour, and they all banded together and started a traveling carnival. And 3 different traveling carnivals were the main ones in the Americas for a while, and it turned into 5, and then it spread apart from there and then disbanded in the 90s. But this was just the beginning of why this happened. And I'm sure he'll explain this, but my punk ass needs to break this up so we don't get struck as much. So
Tusk almost killed me.
Very inappropriate.
Tusk did what to who's where?
Tusk almost killed me with his comment. I choked on my wine. Look, you see what he said?
What? No, I didn't see. What comment are we? Is this one?
Yes.
For only $1, for only $1, that can be rolled around. And never mind, we'll talk about that in another episode. So, anyways, let's keep going before we get in more trouble.
Surprising. At the end of the Chicago World's Fair, they knew they had something. They knew they had a form of entertainment that people would flock to. So they began developing those shows. You gotta go down to the fair.
Side show.
This guy's got 3 legs, the honest to God leg. He's got a leg growing on his back. Is he real? Could it be possible? What does he look like? Well, it'll cost you a dime to find out.
Exactly, yeah. Okay, so speak amongst yourselves right quick. Because he has one more of those. Do we have enough time to keep going, or is everybody done, or
we're okay for now?
Yeah. Also, I do want to totally say something that's sidetracked. It looks hilarious when I drink from my glass of wine like this. Hold on, wait.
You're holding on to who's what? Mother effing. Okay.
It is actually a nice wine. It's not as bad as it looks.
No, it's very nice. It's just the avatar just glitches, and it's like,
Your avatar makes it look like you're drinking piss.
I mean,
I spent quite a lot of money on that wine. You know,
it's not Wednesday yet. No, wait, it is Wednesday. It could be pissed.
on a Wednesday.
Only pissed on a Wednesday.
Oh, okay. You've lost me.
I'm making up some random shit, pretending it's true.
Oh, okay.
You didn't go along with me.
It's just like at band camp when never mind. That's another story for another time.
You clean that flute before you play it again.
Well, the thing that sucks about certain reeded instruments is it's made of wood and it splinters. And okay, well, never mind. We'll talk about that.
Yeah. That's the last place you want a splinter.
Yeah.
No.
So speaking of that devil, here, let's do a little bit more of American carnival history. And in the future, we will delve into the history of circuses in Europe and further back in history as well, because I feel like there is a gap, and I actually know or have studied and looked up the history all the way back to the Roman times, and I think we should talk about that at some point in time.
Yeah, good. I did want to talk about. I'm guessing you know Pablo Fanke.
Yeah,
the black circus owner in Britain in the kind of mid to late 1800s. You know, which that in itself was an oddity. You know.
Yeah, definitely.
His circus was apparently like the most. It was a fantastic equestrian, like horse rider, and that's what took him through into the circus. They ended up owning a circus. You know, for for 1820 to 1870, something like that. You know.
Yeah, and that's the kind of the bridging gap to.
Yeah, that's the gap because he never came to America for obvious reasons. You know, it wasn't a good time for Africans, and you know, but there was a lot of the performers moved. Oh, so we'll talk about this a different day. This is delving deep into the history of the circus.
Yeah, I forgot. When we first only began trying to come up with this, did you fall asleep at? Anyways,
that's what I just wanted to say. It looked like Bernie was sleeping.
Anyways, when we began coming up with this,
I was just sitting all cozy.
Okay, I figured. I just thought it was fun. We need to break this up with the monotony of being serious with funny shite every once in a while. But when we began coming up with this, I thought that we were gonna just speak about the Americas, but then I was like, oh shite, there's so much stuff in the history of it that builds up to it, and so we will get there. I just thought that We didn't talk as much about some of the working in a strip club and getting into drag as much as I wanted with Sierra, and that's kind of why we did this. So next time, one of the other topics we're going to delve into is like being in a strip club or dancing on a pole, or because like I've done all that. I mean, I've been in male strip clubs, I've been in female strip clubs, and I wanted to delve a little bit more into the alternative stage performances, but this was a great diving board. This was the beginning of entertainment, and then we'll talk about the tattooed ladies and some of the other alternative styles of dance that happened in circus and sideshow and carnival. And then we'll get to Ciara-gray and me talking about us working in that industry in modern times as well with sideshow. But while we're looking at eyes blinking like a crack whore or crackhead.
Oh, you're right the first time.
Yeah. Well, let's watch some more video of stuff.
It's my right eye. It just doesn't like it.
It's on the cover.
It may depend on the lighting. If you're lit from one side, then that could be messes it
my
up.
sword stabby eye.
And
the front cover on this month's issue of Crackpure magazine, if anyone's interested.
And this is my pose.
The special collector's edition.
The other thing is you have to do the face reconfigure a couple times. So that's what I noticed is you got to reconfigure the face recognition on that app a couple times.
Imagine how wide an owl's eyes would go if you stuck a finger up its arse.
Woo!
Yeah, like that. Josh, take that finger out.
That's where it stays.
Honey, face reg can go by itself. We can try it.
Yeah.
Well, let's.
So at the top, there's the reconfigure the face thing, or there's the couple settings to relook at your face. Do that every 3 or 4 times before you start recording, and it should match up the correct way.
See, I did when I recorded, but I forgot to do it this time, so I've just got like a little lazy eye. But to be fair, that is my eye that I have trouble with seeing from. Like, I've not got really bad problems, but it's my extra strong prescription in that eye, so it's just doing its own thing anyway.
I warned you not to fuck about. Pop you in the eye.
Oh, yeah, totally. Yeah, that was 100% Tusk. Hang on, wait.
Yeah.
Abuse.
I poke. Okay, so
No,
here we go. Of course not. We know. So here we go. A little bit more history.
It was curiosity. You put the big banner up there, see the rubber man, see the man with 2 heads, see the man with 3 legs. Well, I'll pay a dime just to see what he looks like.
Wait, a man with 3 legs? Don't we all have 3? Never mind.
The traveling show was the only form of entertainment that most of these people were ever going to see all year long.
Yeah.
They had an illusion show called Pepper's Ghost. And Pepper's Ghost is today known as the Gorilla Illusion Show. And that's where a beautiful young lady is transformed right before your very eyes into a raging gorilla. And the gorilla shakes the bars. And then the gorilla breaks the bars loose and runs out into the audience. You had a show called The Volcano. Today, every kid knows how to make a volcano using baking soda and vinegar. Well, it was a unique thing in those days, and they'd have the big volcano erupt.
People back then didn't understand if you take 2 things and put it together, it would make it fuzz. And that's what they were doing live on stage. And people were like, oh my God.
That must be fun to live.
Like midget shows.
Yeah.
not fun, but like also like imagine being able to look at things so new and like not understand them like that we do. Like things must be a lot more entertaining. Imagine that.
Wait, just be a flat earther and everything.
Yeah, everything's new and fascinating. Yeah, there was a I can't remember his name now. It was an Italian performer. He played the lute before the invention of the guitar, but he discovered that if he tuned both of his lutes to a certain frequency, when he played one, the other one would ring out in sympathy.
Yeah.
So what he did, he got a skeleton and he put a lute in its hands and he played behind the curtain, and it looked as though the skeleton was playing and it's sounding. And the Catholic Church burned him at the stake for witchcraft.
Yeah, exactly.
Because it didn't understand anything about the physics of sound, and they assumed he was in league with the devil.
Yeah, and unfortunately for him, he didn't understand the concept well enough to be able to explain it to them. So he goes, I don't exactly know, but if I do this, it happens. They're like, Satan! And it's like, no, homie.
The language didn't exist to explain it to people who thought it was witchcraft.
Yeah, it's like, no, if I can vibrate this thing at this tone, this thing will react in this way because I did this, not because there's any other force. But that's the problem with like flat earthers and the conspiracy theorists. They will use the straw man, or they will use the if this happens, that happens. Well, I need more proof than you just said.
Magical thinking is not science.
Yeah, and I think I've spoke about this. Are you falling asleep there, Ed? Am I boring you? Is that what? No, I'm just kidding.
No more than usual.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I was just getting aggro at my YouTube because it's not loading, so I can't reply to Dave and say lol.
Yeah. Anyways, what I was getting at is I was taught in magic, and I was taught how to make you think certain things are happening. So how are you going to use that and say that these things aren't? Okay, so more carnival stuff. If not stop blinking. Okay.
The little people would sing and dance and do routines. All these kinds of shows were very popular, and a big carnival might have 2 or 3 rides that haven't been invented yet, but they might have 15 of these types of shows. So people flocked to this kind of thing because up to that time, they hadn't seen anything like it. All these shows really began to be phased out by the 1950s. You no longer had to leave your couch. If you wanted entertainment, you just tuned the dial. Nowadays, you do this for your entertainment. But in those days, you had to get off the couch.
And that is the major part of the transition that we have to deal with nowadays. Is most of us had to jump on a stage and put out flyers and promote a show, or get a booking agent and do all this crap for people to see us. Now you just go on TikTok and you just put a video of you lip syncing to something, and everybody and their mom likes it. And it's like, God damn it, I worked my whole life to swallow a sword, and all you have to do now is just I get it. I totally understand it. I'm an old man, so of course I'm going to complain. No. But what I'm getting at is I understand how it's transitioned. So I'm not saying don't, like, if you spend 2 hours getting put in costume to do a 15-second thing, more power to you. Yeah, fuck yeah, do it. Just it's so much easier to do that not in front of thousands of people. You know, like I would spend 2 hours to get ready to be in front of thousands of people and perform for an hour straight and then get off stage and go, oh my God, everybody fucking hated me. You know, it's
Yeah.
completely different than being behind a phone where you see the comments afterward, but you can technically just block everything. I mean, if you don't want to see the hate, you don't have to. Where when you're on stage and you're playing live and people are like, boo, you fucking suck, get off the stage. You're like, oh, motherfucker, I have to I have to hear that, you know?
Anybody ever booed us? We just played at them.
Yeah, no. What we learned a long time ago is how to mess with with trolls. I mean, I learned how to mess with trolls live on stage. Somebody starts fucking with me, we fuck with them. We're like, hey bro, hey, come here. Oh, you can play the guitar? Can you oh, you can't do any of this? Oh well, fuck you, motherfucker. And then everybody's like starts like booing at them, you know. It's like, no, I know how to turn this around on you because I've done this enough live on stage. Just like if a gentleman starts fucking with me when I'm emceeing, I go, hey, everybody stop. Sir, yes, I will go home with you and your wife if you will just be quiet from now on. I know you want me to fuck you and your wife, but if you just shut up, I will go home with you two. And then you see the wife look at the man going, like, did you even... He already's not getting laid the rest of the night. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just kiboshed the whole situation.
Yeah.
Oh, you think you're gonna get up on me because you're with your you're on a date? Because normally it is a date. It's not the wife. But if I say, no, I'm gonna go home with you and your wife, and he's like, oh shit, we're on a date, and I don't even know if I'm going home with her. Oh shit, he can go home with her already? Then like he just shuts down, or they leave. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, now you're gone. I don't have to deal with you anymore. Or if you keep talking, okay, here's my phone number. Don't talk anymore. Call me and we'll fuck. No, don't worry about it. No, we're good. Like, there's ways to like stop these motherfuckers from saying shit, you know?
If we got somebody drunk at a show, you know, there's always that one guy who's too much and starts shouting, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
You know, so what we would do is we'd all just turn around and face them and start playing at them.
Yeah, exactly.
So you clearly want this night to be all about you.
So we're gonna.
So now we're going to make it about you. But now no one's watching us anymore. They're all watching you.
Yeah,
you know.
Exactly. Them apples.
And we've already got your money. So fuck you. You know. Leave if you like. You know?
And that's one of the other things we bring up sometimes as well. Who did you pay to come see?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I'm the headliner, MC, host. So you paid money to see me, and you're gonna try to outdo me, honey. It's my job to fuck with you because you're the heckler. You're in the audience. It's my job to mess with you. So if you want, we can sit for 20 minutes, and I can just make fun of you. And you know what's gonna happen at the end of the night? I'm gonna get more tips.
Yeah, it's people. Two things I learned at a very young age. One, don't fight with the bouncers. That's their job. Two, don't fuck with the entertainment because they're professionals. You're not. You're just some drunk idiot who thinks they're funny. These guys up on stage are professional comedians. Shut the fuck up.
If you're seeing a touring band or you're seeing somebody who's been on stage more than just being in high school, they know what to do when somebody starts fucking with them. And if they don't, then they're never going to be a band again. You know, that's you're gonna not be a band very soon if you do live events. If you can't stand people throwing shit at you. I've had beer bottles thrown at me. I've had a shot glass thrown in my face and it hit my eyeball and almost shattered. Like it fucked up the top of my eye for a while. So I mean, when you go through that shit, you know, like that's when you know you can handle the crowd.
Yeah, I've seen bands come on stage you know, maybe their second gig, whatever, and they've got a heckle, and you just see them fall apart. They don't know how to deal with it. And there's like, oh, honey, you're finished. You know, if you can't take it, you're done. Just put your guitar down and go away.
You just need to own it, because remember.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, it was a little irrelevant, but so you go first.
You just need to own it, and remember, people are there for you, or if they're there for your friend's band or for somebody else on the ticket, own it and say, fuck you. You're going to be here for me now. I'm here on stage. Make it worth their time and make it so it's strong as possible. Like, show your presence. Yeah. If you're gonna turn around and play to your drummer, who wants to see that? I don't want to fucking see that. I'll throw a beer bottle at you if you don't move on stage, because I don't want to see you. If I want to hear the song played the way it is on the album, I will go listen to it in my car.
Yeah. Go and put the record on, and we'll all listen to it. Yeah,
exactly. If
I want to hear you fuck it up. I want to hear you make mistakes. You know? Or
I want to hear you play it with your fucking heart on. Heart. I want you to. So when we're live,
with a heart on.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Rock and roll.
When you watch a band play their songs to the full, like to 11, to turn it up to 11, they're playing with a heart on. That's how they should be playing their music. Aroused as fuck. If they're not, then why did I pay money to watch you play?
Rock out with your cock out. That's the
exactly. If I'm watching L7, all female band. If I'm watching
I love L7.
Oh god. So I saw them live a couple times, but they played San Diego one time, and the venue wouldn't let them sell their shirts that said "fuck you" on it.
Fuck you, yeah.
So they came out and they were like, so everybody just yell "fuck you" as many times as you can throughout our whole set, because they won't let us like sell our shirts. So the whole time we're just like putting up our middle fingers and saying "fuck you, fuck you, fuck you" to the venue. It was so. But
they played a venue in Glasgow one time, and I can't remember the singer and guitarist. I've forgotten her name. Was it Kat?
I think Kat is. I think Kat is. If not, she's bass. But anyway, I think it is Kat.
Well, that was one of the famous incidents where she pulled her pants down and threw her tampon into the crowd.
Fuck yeah!
It was like, but some people were disgusted, ran away, but everybody else just went, "Yes, fuck it!" You know, this is amazing. You know?
Well, we're talking about performance art and people that are trying to make controversial art for people to open up their minds. So fucking do that shit, you know?
Yeah. I mean, anybody can shock. It's easy to shock. You know, like G.G. Allen go up on stage and take a shit. Oh yeah, well done. Make me think. Make me frightened. You know, make me horny. Do something. Don't just stand in front of me and go, "Here's music. Listen to it." Fucking move me. You know,
like
even if it's a negative reaction.
Yeah.
Move me. You know.
Like when I broke the beer bottle over my head and slashed my chest open and ate the glass. I did it during a song that was about political stuff. You know, we were trying to make people think about what was going on. And one of the funny things was we never told security what we were doing.
Never tell security what you're going to do.
So
no, they'll stop you before you get to do it, right?
Yes, but what was really fucking awesome was I would stand in the back of the crowd next to the sound booth, and as soon as my cue happened, I would run through the crowd by pushing people, because it was in a punk or a metal venue, so it wasn't in a nice place, or you know what I'm saying? It wasn't a blues venue. So knocking people out of my way wasn't scary. So I would run from the back of the venue to the front of the venue. I would jump up on stage, and I had beer bottles lined up behind the monitors that were empty, so nobody could see them. You know what I'm saying? So it was already a set up pseudo thing, right? And I would jump up on stage and I would start rocking out with the band, and they would pretend like they didn't notice I was on stage, kind of. You know what I'm saying? Like they were just playing the solo. And then what I would do is I'd grab a beer bottle and smash it over my head and start eating the glass and slash my chest open. And then the band would notice me and they're like rocking out to me and they would come do the whole guitars next to you and the singer, you know, headbang next to you singing and shit. And you could just see security going, oh my God, what the fuck? Wait, the band's not freaking out. Wait, so they would stand at the front of the stage like so confused because they didn't know what the fuck they were supposed to do, you know. And if they ever did grab me, which happened twice, we just said, I'm the promoter, this is the part of the show. And they're like, oh yeah, the tattooed face motherfucker is, yeah, he's the one obviously putting on the show. Yeah, oh yeah, okay.
That happened in the first days, the early days of like thrash metal. You know, these bands would come on, you know, start playing, everybody would start stage diving. And previous to that, you know, going on the stage was an absolute no-no. If you weren't a performer, you stayed off the stage. So these bouncers would just panic and start grabbing people, and then suddenly they would get rushed like 100 heavy metal fans, and these huge fights would break out.
Yeah.
And the band would be playing, this is fucking amazing, this is great. Yeah. But it was just like, it took a while for the bouncers to like, it's okay, this isn't a fight. What you're watching, this is part of the show. There's no spectators here. Everyone is part of the show. You know, there's none of this rock star shit. You know,
in 1995 and 1996 is when we had to start warning bouncers about stage stuff. When we're like, hey, there may be a couple kids that try to jump on stage, and as long as they don't punch me in the face, don't do anything. You know, because that's when stage diving kind of started, you know. So we were like, okay, if a kid jumps up on stage and jumps back into the crowd, leave them alone. If they jump up on stage and grab me, then I need help, maybe. But it was mainly the people playing instruments that I said, if anybody grabs them, take them out. You know, because if you grab me and I'm singing, I don't give a flying. I can still be like, evening flow, while somebody's throwing me in the crowd. I don't give a flying fuck about me per se. But I was like, anybody touches my band members, kick their ass, take them out. But you have to realize mosh pits happen. So we would tell our security, if what you think is a fight is going on in the audience, that's actually not what's happening. They're just moshing, and we had to we had to tell them what moshing was. And then in the 90s, all the way until 2002, probably is what I want to say, but I could be wrong in the Americas. Nobody had to tell anybody etiquette for moshing. You never went to a punk show or a ska show without somebody saying, we're going to run around in a circle and beat the shit out of each other. But if somebody falls, you pick them up.
No, absolutely. Yeah.
That's standard. That should go without saying.
Yeah. If you accidentally punch somebody in the mouth, you make sure they're okay. You take them to the bathroom, you clean them up. You know?
Exactly. If you see blood, if somebody falls, you take care of everybody else. Because we're not here to actually hurt each other, but we want to hurt each other.
Yeah.
You know,
you always punch below shoulder height. You know, never kick out behind you.
Yeah,
there was I think it was the Beastie Boys. I think it was on the album. Was it Sabotage? Or the album that had Sabotage on it. There was a guide to mosh pits.
Yeah. I think so.
It's like, unless you weigh 8 stone, don't crowd surf. If you're a great big fat Kentucky Fried Chicken eating motherfucker, do not jump on. You know?
Yeah, totally. And I saw so many, but
people try and force me to crowd surf. It's not fun.
No, crowd surfing is not fun. I've got so many fingers up my butt, but what's
I saw a hole with Courtney Love back in the early days.
Yeah, she got her fingered.
Yeah, she jumped off. She was I can't remember who was supporting. It might have been Tad. And she jumped off stage, and people started groping her. She started screaming, "Put me down, put me down."
Yeah.
So we put her down, and she just head-butted some guy because he had his hand right up her skirt, and she just went, "Fuck." you, bang. You know?
Yeah.
And that was the end of it. It's like, you deserve that. You know?
Yeah, no, unfortunately, that's one of the things about crowd surfing. But getting away from that, what our motto was when I was growing up in around the early 90s, let's just put it that way, was elbows and knees and not fist and boots. So you don't want to kick people and punch people, but you want to rough them up. So elbows and knees were okay as long as you didn't really drop somebody, you know? And then we had the mottos of picking people up. And then some of the skinheads around us were starting to put razor blades in their boots. So we had
Negative skinheads.
yeah, and we'll delve on that later. But we had to kick some of their butts and kick them out.
Yeah, that's
but-
never acceptable.
But then in the early 2000s, nobody was bringing these kids into the moshing scene and telling them how with the etiquette. So now they were just kicking people's asses. They were like grabbing somebody and holding them and beating their ass in a mosh pit. And you're like, no, that's not how this fucking works. No, god damn. So we had to kick a lot of people's asses to like tell them. And if you look at a bunch of videos of famous bands, they've had to stop concerts to have people get picked up out of a mosh pit because people are stomping them almost to death. You know, there have to be like, hey, pick that motherfucker up. And it's like, why are you not doing that? Like, if anybody falls, you pick them up.
It became a thing. It became a thing in the early 2000s, and it's kind of taken off with like the hardcore kids again with crowd killing. Where you go in and deliberately trying to take people out. There's a video, it's like a little hardcore gig somewhere, and there's a big, huge fat guy just walks up to people standing at the side of the wall and just starts punching them. And he's not trying to dance, he's not trying to interact, but he's going to try and take out as many people as he can, and he gets his ass kicked. But he's already hit 5 or 6 people by this time.
Yeah, it's
so
ridiculous.
Stupid, it's what killed the hardcore punk scene in Scotland.
Yeah,
that sort of thing.
The Americas
all the time.
The Americas is the same way. There's not really a punk scene here anymore, or there wasn't one before this whole bullshit started, because a lot of that shite happened because nobody was teaching the younger generation. There was just young kids coming and going, oh, I already know what it's like, and I'm going to fucking do whatever I want. No, homie. Like, there is a process. There's a process to getting into these things, especially in underground scenes. I had to do my fucking work to get into certain places that I got into, like I didn't just walk into places to get the recognition that I got. I actually had to show that I was a certain person doing certain things, and it was a process.
It's like the same in the biker community. If you want to start your own club, you don't just show up with your patches,
and you're like, here, we're going to be here.
No. Here now. You start out cleaning up after conventions and gigs and stuff. You do security, you sell tickets. You pay your dues, you show your respect. Then people get to know your face, and slowly, maybe a year or so in, people go, oh yeah, those guys are okay.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's you. You've got an in, but you can't just. I mean, one of my friends a few years ago, they were going to start just a wee club, just a few of us. And he started designing back patches. And I was like, no. You can't just fucking start wearing your patch. And no, that's not how this works. There's rules to this. He's like, what do you mean? I said, you can't just, no. He didn't understand any of this. He thought he's just going to roll up, put his patch on, and that was him. He's a 1%er now. It's like,
Was
no.
it not like...
Oh, man.
No.
Yeah.
That's not how this works.
Not at all. If there's certain places or certain clubs around here, if you throw on a 1%er patch and you
I wanted to say something.
Go ahead, Brainless.
No,
Ed
Go
wanted to
Ed.
say
Sorry.
something.
Oh, sorry, Ed. Go, Ed.
Oh no, it was literally like, was it not like the same text as a certain group here?
Yeah, he
And
wanted to have like the Scotland flag, but one particular group has claimed Scotland as its territory, the entire country.
Yeah, that's what
And
you were telling me.
he was using the same colours, and he wanted to use the flaming skull. And I was like, you realise that will get us killed?
we'll
You
die.
know?
You don't do a flaming skull at all. No flames in a skull at all. Even especially sideways. Especially
Yeah. He just looked at all these different like back patches and came up with one of his own. I was
But
like, no chance am I wearing that.
I get why he thought that might be cool, but
Oh yeah,
again,
it's cool, but yeah.
symbology. You have to look at symbology. Like, just off the top of this, getting a top hat on my hand was very controversial at first because there is a gang in New York that uses a top hat and a cane as their symbol, and I had to make sure that my hand, and they put it on their hand. I had to make sure that my hand tattoo was not close enough to the gang in New York who used almost this kind of logo. I did it way differently than them,
Right.
but I actually had to do research and say, how close do I want to get to their tattoo? Because this is my magic hand. That's, I talked about the whole night. I'm a magician.
Yeah.
So this is my magic hand, my left hand. I'm a left-handed. So it's my magic hand. So I have to have my magic hat with the smoke coming out of it, because that's what I used for sleight of hand. But I did have to sit there and I had to talk to people in that gang. I actually talked to people in that gang and said, are you going to wipe me out? Or is anybody, if I go to New York, is anybody going to see my hand and give me problems? And they said, no, the way that you did it is different than us. And homie, if you do what you do and you came here to New York, I'll fucking be cool with that. Like I'd be like, yeah, cool. So I mean, like they really didn't have a problem with a crazy person like me wearing this on my hand. So
the guy that wanted to do the top, Etty knows him.
Yeah.
He's a bit of a twat. He doesn't understand. He can't make the connection. It's like, yeah, but it's not the same as theirs. I said, yeah, but it looks so similar, and you never know what's going to offend those guys. Just
See, the thing is, though, he's not lived that life.
no, he hasn't. That's the thing.
That's the real.
He could just jump on a motorbike and that's him a biker now.
Well, that's the Weekend Warriors for you. You know what I'm saying? Where they think that they kind of understand, but symbology is very, very huge in any underground subculture that people don't realize how much that actually means something. But if you're not in there, cool. But the problem is if you're in those subcultures and you see certain symbols, then I don't want to say assume, but you have to take into account, if you're working in those subcultures, what those symbols mean. When I was selling drugs, if certain people had certain things on them or certain symbols, I have to know they mean certain things.
Yeah.
And if I don't assume that, then I'm going to die. So I have to understand the underground. Let me put this really quick and in a simple way. The easiest way I can explain this was in San Diego, growing up in the drug scene. If you had a certain light on your front porch or on your back porch, that meant that you did certain types of illegal stuff. So a green light meant you sold weed. A blue light meant that you sold something else, and red light was a hooker, and yellow was meth. So different colored lights meant different colored things in certain areas. So you could just drive down a street and you could see a blue, green, red, yellow, purple light just down everybody's porch light. And you just know what those people did. I mean, it's the only weird. What were you want to say, Ed?
I'm just saying, Irish and Dave both posted interesting comments.
Dave did.
Yeah, and Irish Still also made fair point adding on to the biker patches.
Yeah, just top and bottom rockers. Just don't do them.
Nope.
Nope.
Bad luck.
I mean, we didn't have the same sort of thing. We haven't had the same kind of drug culture in Scotland, but the dealers I used to go to, they'd have like a red light on if they ever had anything, or they would have like their curtains half open, or they'd put a plant in the window. You know, certain little signs that the cops wouldn't know what they meant, but everybody else knew what that meant.
That's what it was if their regular porch light was on, they didn't have anything, or they weren't cooking. But if they had their blue light on, or they had the other light on, then you could walk up and go, knock, knock. I need a green salad, and they'd go, oh, here you go. Here, how much green salad do you need? Or if it was the red light, which is, we all know what.
I mean, the red light. Yeah.
The red light district. Yeah. And that was a common thing in the Americas as well, which bled in, was if there was a red light on in somebody's porch, you could walk up and go, I got $20. And they go, okay, honey, come inside. And you sit on this couch. And then whoever's next, you just get whoever, I mean, there's the massage parlors that had the blue light and the special, and there's all kinds of things. So
the happy ending.
Yeah. So if they had the white light on, there was nothing going on. But if they had the other colored light on, then you're like, hoo-hoo! And one of the places I bought from was a junkyard. And you would drive to the back of the junkyard, and whatever color light was on was whatever you could buy at the time. So if he had meth, it was yellow. If it was a hooker, he would have red. If it was coke, it was blue. If it was green, it was weed. So you just drive around for a couple hours around and go to the strip clubs or do whatever, and then come back through and just see what he had for sale whenever a mafia would drop off a load of something to him. And we were the sellers, so we were the in-between. So it was mafia, him, and then us. So you just drive around until you wanted to sell whatever he had for sale, and you would call him up, give him a text, drive into the back. Two guys with guns would come out and meet you, walk you up to him, and then you do whatever, and you go back at, and I'm yeah. That's probably way more information than I should talk about, right?
Just to get a bag of weed.
Well, it really wasn't anything small. It was like a pound or ounces, or because I didn't run anything small. When you put on an event that is 1,000 people, everybody wants everything. So I've got to have 200 pills of ecstasy. I've got to have a couple fucking grams of weed, or a half ounce of weed that are all in grams. I've got to have nitrous, and I've got to have the tank, and I have to have the balloons, and I have to. So, I mean, when we did this crap, it wasn't just small amounts of anything. It was large amounts of stuff. And we all brought it to one event, and then we put it on. And before we end the night, since we're talking about live events, and that's why we did tonight, what we would do is we put on underground events where you had to call a phone number, get directions to a record store that gave you directions to another place, a checkpoint, and then you got to go to the event. So it was a triple checkpoint before you got to us.
We had that in the UK. With
the E-train.
The illegal grave scene.
Yeah, it began in the UK in the cornfields and in the farms and stuff like that, for sure.
Unless you were a DJ or a promoter, you never knew where it was until the day, maybe an hour before it started. But somebody would know somebody who knew somebody who could get you some pills, but they didn't know where the rave was, but they knew somebody who might. And it was just fucking.
And it was constant.
So what we would do is we would put a month before, we would put out flyers that only had a phone number, no address, information, you know, what DJ, the type of music, the theme. We always had a theme, you know, like Nightmare Before Christmas, On Your Mom's Anus, or, you know, On Mars, and you have a phone number. And what you do is at 8 p.m. that night, you would call the phone number, and it had a message, and it said, if you're listening to this, you need to go to this place and this address. And you go there, and you need to say this keyword. And it was usually like a 24-hour restaurant or record store or something. And you go there and you say, my mom has a huge penis. And they're like, okay, well, $15. And you're like, okay. So, you know, that was a code word. You know, I mean, my mom, I hope doesn't, but, you know, so anyways, so yeah. So they'd give you a code to say, right? And then you give them money and they give you a ticket, and the ticket had directions. And then you go and drive to those directions, and then you get to the rave. And then once you get to the rave, there was usually a line of people standing there. Once you gave them your ticket or proof that you got there through following the directions, there was a line of people that said ecstasy, coke, heroin, any drug you want, and you would just follow the line. In the early 90s, underground raves, when you paid to get in, they actually used to have, and I experienced this a couple times, not very many, but when you paid to get in, they actually had like tables of drugs for free that you could just walk up and take and just eat or snort or do. That wasn't very often. And then in the later 90s, they got rid of that. They just had drug dealers that were selling you the drugs, but you could literally like go to these underground raves and just whatever you wanted, you could just find. I mean, you just walked around until somebody told you what it was. And before we end this, because we're fucking going long, there were events in downtown LA where I went to 100,000 person rave. And I mean, finding drugs there was just so easy. And like, there was so out in the open that it was just crazy. I don't think that has anything to do with live performances on stage, but hey,
that's part of the whole thing, you know.
It actually kind of is, but it's just only where we got to.
It's always been a thing, you know. It was like, I mean, I remember I used to smoke a lot of weed. I don't anymore, but we'd go see bands, you know, and the band made no bones about what they were doing, you know.
Yeah.
And you'd get high as fuck before you went in, and the band would be high as fuck too, and it was all part of the experience, that kind of communal shared experience. And you'd see people standing at the side who'd been dragged along by their stoner partner or whatever, and they were having a terrible time. You know, and people would feel sorry for them and go and offer them drugs. Like, do you want? You know, honestly, you'll enjoy this a lot more if you're high. You know, but
just take a hit. Just take a hit.
Yeah, take a hit off a joint. You know, take a pill. Do something. You know, you're bringing everybody down. You're
down. Yeah.
Everybody out. You know?
Yeah. So Dave says he DJ'd in Edinburgh in the 80s. I did a mod night on Wednesdays, biker on Friday.
Yeah, that's how it had to be.
Keep them apart.
Or trouble.
Yeah.
But there was graffiti where I grew up. It said "bop on a mod," you know, and underneath it, the mods had written "batter a biker a day." And there used to be these huge running battles with the mods and the rockers where I lived. You'd like properly going for one another, knives and chains and bats and all kinds of shit. They hated each other.
Fuck. Yeah.
Because the mods were always like more middle class, kind of well dressed. They could afford, you know, nice clothes and all that. Where the bikers were a bunch of greasy assholes, and they hated each other with a passion, vicious.
The one thing I absolutely love about where you grew up, like, well, not the one thing, but there's a lot of things I love. But one of the main things is you see the little old ladies. And I mean, like, she's got the white wispy hair, the little knitted cardigan, and she's got roses, old school roses tattooed on her hands, you know, and she's just like tattooed, and she's just got this little cup of tea. Do you remember we walked past her? I'm never forgetting her. And she was just this tiny little old lady, just like sipping away at this cup of tea with her little bit Tunix tea cake, and she just was covered in tattoos. It was just amazing.
Where I grew up, there was a lot of like bikers that lived in the area, and they stayed there and they grew old. So as you see these 80-year-old women, they're sitting out with their friends at the cafe having a cup of tea, but they're covered in tattoos from head to toe. And they used to be like, and you discover they were sidecar racers when they were younger, and you know, they're amazing stories they could tell you.
And then what about the gentleman as well? That was clearly an old rocker.
Oh, him. There's a guy there. He's about 80 years old. At least he had a big gold medallion on, a quiff. You know, he looked like Gene Vincent had been plucked out of the 50s and dropped right into the present day. You know, he had these big brothel creepers on and everything. Fucking fantastic.
But this is what, like, a lot of music and, you know, the performance and all these things sort of create for people, like a massive subculture where they're included and, you know, they feel happy and comfortable with themselves to express themselves.
I think part of it, the reason that has lived, is to take it back to the performance thing. There was none of that rock star shit. You know, it was not like we're the audience, you're the performers, and there's that gap in between. You know, because the rock bands, you know, the rocker bands and the punk bands and all that, they were all working class, they all worked in the same factories. You know, like you walk next to the guy and you're like, "Oh, you playing tonight? Yeah, I've got a gig tonight. Are you coming? Yeah, no problem. We're coming along." You know, you go and dance to the music, but then the next day you're back on the production line with this guy.
Yeah.
You know, there was
That's
none of
why I
that.
like to bring these people up.
Yeah, none of that superstar shit. You know.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's like the guy that I showed you on Discord. He doesn't behave like rock star or anything. You know, he is just a really chill dude, and you know, he actually almost got a fright when Tusk recognized who he was.
Who was that?
Geezer.
Hmm?
Geezer.
Oh, yeah, he's a friend. Just like a friend of the family, and we're chatting away. And he was drunk as fuck, and he kept spilling his drink on me. Guy's getting on my fucking nerves, you know. But all the way in, it's like, I know this guy from somewhere. And eventually I went, right, fucker, how do I know you? And he told me what band he played in. I was like, I've saw you about 5 times. He's like, yeah. I was like, fuck, I'm sitting going, who is this asshole? I recognise him. Turns out I've paid to see him quite a few times.
No, see, he's just funny when he gets drunk. It's like he speaks in tongues. You have no idea what he's
saying. So before we end this, because I feel like you all need to, we should be closing this up soon.
Oh, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess we can go for another 30, but I figure that you all want to go to bed soon. I had some point that I was going to make, and then my freaking brain forgot it while I was trying to close this out.
Poke it with a stick.
See how that works.
Yeah. Don't take any shit off your brain.
So, as a teen, I used to see a bunch of punk bands and stuff, right? So, we hung out with a bunch of my mates at their house on 420 something Avenue, and it was the 420 house. So everybody came there after work and went and smoked, and they had a basement full of instruments. So 3 different basses, like 5 different guitars, 2 different drum kits, We padded the whole, we soundproofed the whole basement so we could play down there and record, right? So we've been doing this for like a year straight, right? All of a sudden, we take a break and we go upstairs and we're all smoking a cigarette. And this little 15-year-old kid or 16-year-old kid, and like, of course, we didn't have kids around us all the time, but you know, every once in a while, a high school kid would kind of come over, and we were like, if you know enough people. But anyways, this kid was here, and he's like, oh my god, and we're like, what are you fucking freaking out about? And he's like, dude, that's Carl Alvarez, and we're playing music with him. And I'm like, yeah, that's Carl. What the fuck? And he's like, no, the Descendants. And I went, oh my fucking god, dude. I've been playing music with like one of the like lead people in the Descendants, which is an old school punk band.
I know the Descendants, right?
We know that.
Yeah, exactly. So like he's been on like 3 of the last albums of theirs. Obviously, there's been like so many changes throughout the band, and he wasn't on the first 3 albums or something, but he was on the last couple, and he toured with them for like years, right? So I'm like, oh my god, I fucking saw him live on stage when I was a teen, and now I'm playing music with this motherfucker. What the fuck? And so we're just like, okay. And so like we're actually like playing with him, and at one point in time we helped him make 1 or 2 songs for one of the last 2 albums of the Descendants. I mean, we didn't really help him, but he was like, here, I got this, blah blah, you know, and like he was playing the lead guitar for it, and I didn't help any at all. I'm just gonna say that because I was there, but I did not help the song. Let's put it that way. But like, I watched songs be put on an album. You know what I'm saying? Like, I saw them being kind of made, and then on the album, you listen to them and you're like, yeah. And then of course, I listened to this motherfucker on stage playing while he's famous, and then now I'm just like playing music with him. And so, before we end this,
I have a little tiny story like that.
Go for it. Yeah, no, go for it, please.
We were talking about Geezer. For my uncle's funeral, he really wanted to make an original soundtrack. Just, you know, to spice things up a little bit, to make things feel a bit, you know, less grim. So, like, he's just, like, chilling, right? And then out of nowhere, of all things come on the telly, Dolly Parton, 9 to 5 comes on. So he just like gets up and he runs to the telly, gets his little recorder and like records Dolly Parton. And then he like runs away and he just disappears into my room. He slept in my bedroom. I stayed in my parents' room, you know, so he had his own space. And like for ages he was just away tweaking, and then like he eventually did like a remix of Dolly Parton's Working 9 to 5, and it was probably, you know, just watching that like little brain, well, not his little brain, but it's clearly his big brain click, and the inspiration just flow through him, and just like sneaking like a look for the crack in the door, watching him do his own thing was just really amazing to watch. And I'm sure you probably felt a little bit of that with with the creativeness.
Yeah.
I'll have to find that for you at some point.
Okay, I can't stop laughing at watching your avatar. So sorry, I got a little distracted.
Yeah, I got to figure that phase rig out as well.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. That was great. If we can all do the face rig, that would be hilarious. If all of us can do that at the same time. But anyways, so I think that's about ready where we're gonna end this. We will delve further into everyone's experience in entertainment experience later. If I said experience enough, then maybe the experience God will show up, or there's an experience genie. I don't know. But anyways, we will delve into this subject a little bit later. I think in the future, we're going to be delving into misconceptions of stereotypes. So transgenders, skinheads, people in the sex industry, and a couple other genres. We're going to try to delve into that next time. And I just want to poke your eyeball so bad. I wish we were playing GTA so I could put my finger in your eyeball, just like we do with your. Never mind.
I'll do it for you later on, and I'll
Sweet,
tell
awesome.
No,
Sweet, yeah.
don't, because he actually. You remember, I'm the one that tried to gouge your eye out in my sleep, not the other way around. I'll
I
get your
thought we were talking about putting a finger up your butt at this point, but never mind. We'll talk about
Oh.
the whole thing.
No.
None of those eyes are open.
It's not that kind of party.
Oh, okay. But
Not tonight. Not tonight.
Before we go to sleep.
Anyways, I think that is where we should end this now.
Absolutely.
In the future, if you enjoyed what we do, please tip us through PayPal, and it will get shared amongst everybody, or it will it helps us get more equipment or be able to upgrade so this show is a little bit better. And that's what we're working on, is quality. I know it's a little shite right now, but we'll be there soon. And as we go out, I want to share the song that John Stock did for me. And I'll be using it as an intro in the future. So I'm going to mute everybody, and we're going to play that right now. So everybody say goodbye to the audience.
Bye, audience.
Bye, audience.
And if you, in my Discord.
Hi, audience.
And
You're getting all the links. One more time.
yes, thank you so much, Brainless. And that's why you get all the nude photos for free. And the new porn videos that I will be doing, I'll be sending to Brainless for free. And if you want to find out, we will be starting. Siara-gray is not here, and the other person is not here, but I will be starting an OnlyFans soon with I have female partners that want to help me do some stuff with fans only, or OnlyFans. Yeah, it's OnlyFans. So we will be doing an OnlyFans very soon, and my Patreon will be starting soon and all that fun stuff. So if you want to see my bunghole up close, I have ways that you can pay to see that, I guess. No, never mind.
I'll pay not to see it.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm just kidding. Like I said, I have two of my female friends that are willing to start doing weird, fun, kinky stuff. Not per se with me, but we're gonna work together to be bringing you content in weird fetishes very soon. So stay tuned to that. And shocker to everybody.
Wow.
Okay. Bye, everybody. And we're gonna mute. Bye. We're gonna mute and then play this song, and then we'll be out. So thank you all very much, and have a good night. Bye.
Bye, people.
Thank you again, John Stock, for making this. Please thumbs up on the way out. Thank you all very much. Thank you all very much. You all have a good night, and we will see you in the next video momos or whatever the fucking shit. So, bye.